Welcome to this introduction to adopting a mentoring mindset. We are excited to walk through this training with you as you examine the role of embracing a mentoring mindset in supporting youth and young adults in school as they develop their social capital, especially their social network of interpersonal relationships in their journey from K through 12. At Mentor, we have had the pleasure of collaborating with and supporting many programs and partners on trainings that incorporate the best practices in building mentoring relationships. Thank you for committing to this session. It's a great way to engage in learning and reflection on your own experiences receiving and providing quality relational support. Potential is equally distributed, but opportunity is not. A major driver of healthy development and opportunity is who you know and who's in your corner. 30 years ago, Mentor was created to expand opportunity for young people by building a youth mentoring field and movement, serving as the expert and go-to resource on quality mentoring. The result? More than 10 times increase in young people engaged in structured mentoring relationships, from hundreds of thousands to millions. We provide evidence-based practice and high-quality research for the mentoring field. Mentor recognizes that systemic and growing inequity manifests as gaps in opportunity, networks, and access to adult relationships outside of families. Today, we activate a movement across sectors that is diverse and broad and seeps into every aspect of daily life. We are connecting and fueling opportunity for young people everywhere they are, from schools to workplaces and beyond. We are so enthusiastic that you have chosen to examine ways to explore and deepen your mentoring and relationship building opportunities with young people. There is a persistent need for mentoring. 1 in 3 young people are growing up without a mentor. This represents the mentoring gap in America. At Mentor, we are committed to supporting the development of relationship-rich and relationship-centered contexts. We aim to help all youth have access to a web of support from caring adults and peers across settings, forming empowering relationships which promote their pursuit of their passions, skills, and interests, enable their access to and exploration of spaces where these can be pursued, help them overcome personal and or institutional obstacles, and build their social capital and networks. Schools and districts are essential locations for this work. There are some critical attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors that serve as the foundation of being an effective mentor and caring adult. It is helpful to think of these characteristics as contributing to a mentoring mindset. A mentoring mindset is a way of thinking and interacting that places young people at the center of our work and allows mentors or other caring adults to be true partners in a young person's journey. Ideally, in all healthy relationships, people use a mentoring mindset when interacting with one another. This can look like supporting young people's growth and scaffolding by helping them advance towards important personal, educational, and career opportunities and goals. A mentoring mindset means relationships that are intentional, or I see you, supportive, I got you, developmental, I'm here to help you, and communal, we are in this together. These relationships can be with people we know really well, people we consider acquaintances, and in some instances, people who we are meeting for the first time. Consider I see you as being present and self-reflective. Some ways you can be intentional include understanding youth-centered motivations and needs, cultivating a positive and respectful view of youth, their family, and their network, and honoring the young person's full self. Consider I got you as practicing curiosity and consistency. Some ways you can be supportive include being fully committed to the relationship, engaging with authenticity and honesty, and also engaging with purpose with the commitment to do no harm. Consider I'm here to help about contributing to goals and being strength-based. Some ways you can be developmental include being goal-oriented, participating in the web of support of a young person, engage in critical mentoring, which acknowledges the systems and cultures that surround the relationship and surround the young person's journey, and adopting relational thinking by being willing to grow and learn yourself. Consider in this together as being about being bidirectional and having the ability to learn and teach, as well as leveraging mutual and community resources. Some ways you can be communal include exploring the resources and models in the community and learning about and connecting with youth's context, circumstances, and capital. An important goal for leveraging a mentoring mindset is helping youth have access to meaningful social capital, i.e. networks and resources that support their journey through school, career, and life. Students, like adults, need the right resources and support at the right time to achieve goals, develop their skills, thrive in different systems and cultures, and find essential opportunities that align with their interests and passions. In addition to finding resources and support, one must activate them to support the growth and achievement of goals. Youth come into school with social capital already in the form of cultural norms, communal history, diverse professions in their families, and lessons learned from their neighborhood experiences. Schools have a great opportunity to sync up with this social capital and build upon it so that all students graduate from the K through 12 system with deeper social capital and the skills to call upon it and build upon it into and through their post-secondary education, workforce, and career. Supportive interpersonal relationships lead to opportunities, and youth begin developing those from the time they enter elementary school, continuing through high school graduation and beyond. If young people understand what social capital networks are and how they can be helpful in their development and pursuit of goals, like being the first person in their family to attend college, for example, they will figure out how to use these connections. As a Christensen Institute notes, social capital describes students' access to and ability to mobilize relationships that help further their potential and their goals. Just like skills and knowledge, relationships offer resources that drive access to opportunity. 4 areas for measuring youth social capital are quality of relationships, quantity of relationships, structure of relationships, and the ability to mobilize relationships. Both weak and strong tie connections are an important part of social capital. Strong ties typically include and consist of close relationships, people you see every day and have regular interaction with, and those you turn to for daily emotional, economic, educational, and or instrumental supports. These are strong foundational sources of support that provide anchors not often found in weak ties. Examples of strong ties can include guardians, teachers or coaches, friends, and family. Weak ties are people you interact with less often and may meet through community events. Though more tenuous, they provide access to a world of opportunities and information that may not be as readily available through strong tie networks. Examples of this could be lunch staff or school visitors and professionals met through informational interviews. Youth need a network of caring adults and peers. It's not one adult or mentor who will be or has to be everything to that young person. There's no one superhero that can make everything happen in the lives of youth. The goal is to surround youth with a web of support in and outside of the school building, integrating a diversity of relationships that can support youth social emotional learning, identity development, goal setting, and academic achievement. These relationships can include mentoring relationships cultivated in programs, mentoring relationships cultivated in the community and in the hallways, ones formed through project learning, and those through the breadth of guest speakers or visitors, as well as field trips in the community. Mentoring relationships and programs can be one-to-one, peer or near peer-to-peer, small group, blended one-to-one in group, as well as online or remote. These relationships are created intentionally, pairing youth with other people or another person through regular meetings that are set up, and ideally matches meet for at least 8 hours each month. Mentoring relationships in communities and in the hallway. These can be youth relationships with parents and guardians and other relatives, as well as their relationships with neighbors, teachers, coaches, advisors, and other school staff. These relationships can form organically through connections with people that you see daily, weekly, and monthly in their lives. Mentoring relationships in groups. These are groups where relationships are also created intentionally and can support a range of things for youth, including youth identity and exploration of race, sexuality, and other important identities. They can be groups formed around leadership skills, academics, SEL skills, or athletics, and other artistic pursuits. Connecting or networking mentoring relationships, these are where youth are meeting people outside of their usual networks. These can be guest speakers at school, people students get to meet on field trips, and these relationships provide youth with the chance to obtain information and meet others that they may not see every day. And mentoring relationships can also be fostered in structured learning environments. These relationships provide opportunity for youth to learn and gain knowledge through different school assignments. And these are people youth reach out to as they conduct research or ask questions related to their assignments. We want students to succeed and grow academically, developmentally, emotionally, socially, and in their wellness. Alongside graduating with deep knowledge, curiosity, and skills to navigate through difficulty and preparedness for post-secondary career, we want each student to also graduate, both knowing how they made our schools and communities better, and with expanded social capital, networks, and relational skills to support their journey after K through 12. Next, we will consider some ways that we can apply a mentoring mindset to help students expand that capital and have a strong foundation on which to build their careers and lives. Good mentoring relationships pays attention to the quantity, quality, structure of relationships and models, how to prepare for adopting the mentoring mindset. The following activities will walk through examples of how to do this in your schools and districts. What are some ways we can leverage the mentoring mindset to connect with social capital youth already have and help expand and develop that social capital? Assess your connections. Support increasing the quantity of relationships for students through assessing your current connections. Who do you know? Who can you deepen your relationship with? Do an inventory of who you know and are connected to right now and how well you know them. This can include your knowledge of their interests, goals, values, identity, strengths, areas for growth, or community and family contexts. If you identify a student you can know better, note one way you can reach out to that student. As a school team, facilitate a relationship mapping activity with all staff to find which students need additional relational support. As a district, consider ways to integrate methods for collecting, tracking, and analyzing relationships and data systems so that we see relationships themselves as an outcome. Focus on relationship depth. Support deepening the quality of relationships through coaching and questions. Rather than providing only instruction or direction, help students assess their goals and problem solve or craft how to make progress toward them by listening actively, asking questions, and sharing your relevant stories that show how you navigated similar situations. Support their agency, critical thinking, and problem solving by coaching and questions. As a school team, lead a web of support activity with students, where students get to share who they feel most supported by in their lives, both inside and outside of school. Use this data to create relationship-centered action plans and debrief sessions with students to help them process their current relationships, how members of their web are connected, and ways they might deepen or expand their web of support with assistance from school staff, school programming, or their peers. As a district, provide access to trainings on best practices around relationship building. Topics can include mentoring 101, developmental relationships, cultural competence, and more. Grow access and opportunities. Define the structure of your relationship by identifying the kinds of support your student needs and you feel comfortable providing. Whether a weak tie or a strong tie, decide what you might want to contribute to the student's goals. These can be facilitating exposure to new environments, referrals or recommendations for opportunities in the workplace or community, or making connections to someone in your network who has the skills, knowledge, and time to provide support, information, or access to a meaningful goal for the student. As a school, assign a coordinator or a small team to oversee relationship-centered strategies and programming. As a district, invest in a team or an office of mentoring or relationships to provide strategies, policies, and resources around relationships and social capital throughout the district. Lean on and support the community. Model how to mobilize relationships and activate your social capital. Follow the student's lead in learning about assets in the community that you can better connect with. Talk with your student about how they can make asks that allow members of their network, both peers and adults, to mobilize connections, support, or resources on their behalf. As a school, consider designing project-based learning that combines academic assignments with community or family engagement strategies. As a district, invite local professionals and programs to district-sponsored events like speed networking or virtual guest presentations with Q&A. And if you are a young person or young adult listening, we have some considerations for you as well with our mentoring mindset inventory for students. Write the names of up to 3 people who come to mind based on these prompts. These can be relationships within or outside of your school, and they can include a range of adults, teachers, guidance or college counselors, coaches, family members, friends, community activists, supervisors at work, program leaders at CBOs, community-based organizations, neighbors, or people you met at events or activities. Under the concept of intentional, who currently knows you, your hopes and dreams, your lived experience, how you are growing up? Use a supportive lens and ask, who comes to mind as a person or persons who shows up when you need them, not just in presence, but through active listening and engagement. Under developmental, when you encounter a challenge, who do you go to for information, for coaching? And under communal, who models how to find resources to support goals? Who is part of your community inside and outside of school? Write the names of up to 3 people who come to mind based on each of these prompts. What do these adults or peers do and say that help you feel connected? What access, opportunities, or resources have they contributed to your journey? Other reflection questions can include, which persons did you list the most? What would you say to the people you listed if they were in front of you right now? In what ways are you supporting peers in your life? How are you teaching and educating the adults in your life? Remember, networks are an accumulation of extended, interpersonal, bi-directional relationships that provide access to resources, support, information, and opportunities, forming essential social capital that allow your goals and dreams to be a reality. Like snowfall, one flake is just the beginning, but the accumulation leads to a beautiful snowbank and huge impact that you can't ignore. This is social capital at work. Remember to let or remind the young people or peers in your life, in your school or district, know that you see them, you got them, you're there to help, and you are in it together with them. Whether for a season or a lifetime, the power of a mentoring mindset is in its orientation toward thinking about and acting on what is best for you and what is best for everyone in your life. It involves caring about and contributing to the policies, practices, and contexts that allow young people to thrive wherever they live, work, play, and learn, helping to turn these areas into mentor, relationship-rich environments. To learn more, check out some of these links to learn more about webs of support, relationship mapping, social capital, critical mentoring, and developmental relationships, all essential strategies that help create the conditions for empowering, healthy, safe developmental relationships. At the core of strategies around mentoring, relationship building, social capital, or networking is the mission to create with purpose and the right resources, the conditions for passion, achievement, wellness, and belonging for all students and all adults in schools, districts, and the broader community, both today and into the future. Thank you for taking the time to watch this webinar training, and we hope you reach out with questions, to share resources or your story, or to learn more. If you want more information, visit our website at www.mentoring.org. Follow us on Twitter at Mentor National using the hashtag Mentoring Amplifies, and follow our education work and learn more about our Relationship Center Schools framework at mentoring.org/education. Thank you. and take care.